I got the feeling I was going bald. And all the while, you were telling me that I wasn't.
I don't think I wanted to believe it, even though I don't really care if you go bald or not.
You didn't want to believe it, being in denial about it?
No.
As in, you didn't want me?
Well, I really did think, I thought that maybe that was just normal. I thought maybe you just had thin hair there, but then you were like, well, that means I'm balding. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I always kept a buzz cut growing up. I remember my mother giving me a machine, or giving me and my brothers a machine to cut our hair with. I started cutting my hair maybe when I was 7. And so
Wow.
I'm very familiar with my hair, just because ever since then, at least once a week, I was buzzing my hair. And maybe when I was going into my teens, I started doing a bald fade. I think I let it grow a bit when I was a teenager. And then ever since then, I just never had it. It was always a buzz cut. When I attempted to grow my hair out for the first time out of curiosity over the summer, I noticed that it grew a little slower right there.
It did.
Here in the back.
It was very thin and fine.
For me, it was new because I had just never had hair. But then, yeah, it just was growing slower and it seemed a little thin. That was new to me. And I was telling you, I think I'm going bald. And all the while you were telling me, no, you're not. No, you're not. It's just a little thin. That's it. And then I was reiterating how that pretty much meant that I was going bald, which now that I think of it, I think my grandpa also was bald.
Really?
No, he wasn't. No, I think he wasn't, because then I thought to myself that was something that I didn't have to
Worry about?
worry about.
Well,
Now, I'm not completely bald.
no, but now that I see it, I'm like, okay, especially when a certain light is on it, I think, okay, yeah, he is probably going a little bald back there. And then when you did grow your hair out, it was very fine and thin there, but yeah, I guess I want to say, I don't want to say sparse.
Well,
that sounds bad.
one would even say, well, what does it matter if you were able to grow the hair there, if you're not gonna keep it?
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, you keep it short, so
And
why
you
even
always
have
wear a
it?
hat too. So.
But I think it's the idea of knowing that I can.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, me too.
Even then, when I was first starting to notice it, I thought, oh, whatever, it's fine. And then, of course, when I was telling you and you were telling me that I wasn't, I kind of thought to myself, no, I'm pretty sure I am. But I was cool about it. But then now that I have that,
It's finally hit you. You're like, oh
now,
man,
now
I'm
that
getting old.
No, because it's kind of hit me before you. But now that
I don't even care.
you have, I don't know. It's as though when you now acknowledge it, now for some reason, it kind of not bothers me.
No, don't let it bother you. It's
but
not even a big deal. But I can say don't let it bother you, but I'm sure it does a little bit because you're not used to it.
No.
So I know when you say when you see yourself in a certain light too.
You know, there's things that people do.
You can always spray it.
Or do a comb over. Or
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No,
that looks so bad.
I tried doing a south side fade where I just
that
keep
looks
it in
really nice
here and then low on the end.
But it's high maintenance, though, isn't it?
Super high maintenance. You got to cut it every other
day, probably.
Every other day, 3 days, and it grows so quick. After that 3rd day, and you go into that 4th day, it kind of just looks like a buzz cut.
It does.
I don't favor that.
It does look really nice, though.
And so, I've had my hair the longest before I cut it.
Yes.
And I didn't know what to do with it.
You know you did not.
Now, what I think I'll do is I'll keep it a bit grown, not as long, but maybe just let it grow. I don't know. That sounds bad.
We're
You're
gonna-
trying to find ways of how I can keep it to where,
Oh my God. We're
Yeah,
just
I
gonna
don't
have
know.
to see what it looks like.
yeah, play it by
You're
ear.
gonna well,
I'm gonna keep it bald here on the sides.
I favored the south side fade, but then I thought, okay, well, what's the point of you even wearing the south side fade? Because you always wear a hat.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's for sure.
you might as well just, I guess.
You know, and
or
somebody
just shave it all off.
somebody mentioned that to me, and they said, "Hey, maybe it's because you always have a hat on
I thought that too.
that it's helping you. It's aiding in making you go bald."
That's what I thought.
Though, I asked Chat GPT,
Huh.
and it replied with that being a myth.
Yeah, it had a whole bunch of other things: genetics, age,
Yeah.
hormone imbalances, all that stuff, stress.
Yeah, but I don't really stress out about
No,
that.
you don't.
Now, I'll admit that I've always got told I appear younger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, I have 13 years on you,
Mm-hmm.
our age gap. And I always thought, what if one day it really catches up to me from one year to another? And maybe I'd like to believe that I don't look my age now, but I will say that it hasn't been as much as these, last 2 years, or maybe this last year where I started graying.
I think you're more white
Yeah.
than gray. It's
Yeah.
nice though. I like it.
Mind it.
No, I don't like.
I don't mind it.
that either. I actually don't want you to dye it.
Yeah, at first I dyed it a
Yeah.
bit.
I like
But
the white.
it almost, I don't know, I don't want to be this old guy that screams is trying too hard to look young.
To look young, no.
You know, where you're
I
where
know
I
what
have
you
a
mean.
beard that just looks a little too
Dark. Where
Too
they think,
dark.
I'm sure he's supposed to have grays by now, and he's over there freaking
yeah, I don't want to do all that.
dyeing it.
Well, I've seen men with peppered hair, and I favor it.
Mm-hmm.
I favor it.
You know
What do you
what's
think?
funny? Is that when you grow your hair out though,
Yeah.
it's not, you don't have any grays, any whites, nothing. It's just down here.
Yeah, it's just right here.
When you grow your hair out, it's dark.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
I think that I wouldn't mind it being
Me
peppered up
neither.
here already, just so it could kind of match.
Wonder when that's gonna happen.
Yeah. I say that right now, but then when it comes, I'm probably gonna be.
No, I think it's gonna look cool.
Yeah.
I really do, especially if it's white and not gray. It's gonna be white and black. It's gonna look nice.
You're gonna go white.
Yeah, but you are too. They say redheads go white and not gray.
Hmm.
Which once that happens to me, I'm never gonna dye my hair. I don't mind going white. But it might have that awkward phase where there's just gonna be little strands that are white.
You don't
I
want.
want my whole hair
You don't
white.
want that fake looking.
No. No.
It's just straight red.
No. I know someone in my family that does that. But no,
Some people do henna, and that looks nice, right?
Yeah, but I think there's a certain technique to it.
Yeah. Well,
I've never dyed my hair before.
I feel comfortable in that I have nothing to worry about. I know that you favor me as I am or what I'll become, whether it's getting more grays or more wrinkles,
Yeah,
that
I
you
don't
will still
care at
find me
all.
attractive
Mhm.
just as much as if I was.
You're just telling yourself that. I'm just kidding. No, I really would. I don't care if you're going bald.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're going gray or white, whatever it is. If anything, too, well, I know it's a lot of maintenance. Like you said, you could just shave your whole hair, all your hair off.
I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to do that.
We're just gonna have to see. We're just
Some
gonna have to
guys
see what it looks
have
like.
a good noggin for that. I feel as though I don't. What do you think? I don't think I have a noggin for that. To just be straight bald?
I don't know. I think you kind of do. But we're just going to have to see what your hair looks like. You're going to keep it, you're going to try to keep it long right here where it's sparse and then buzz down a little bit in the front or trimmed up so it won't be too. Just don't have it the way you had it before where you had absolutely.
I don't know if I should
clue
even
what to
do that because then I don't know how I feel about that because at the same time I say I'm going to grow it more there and then less up here in the front because there's a picture that I took where it wasn't really that long and it looked nice. Yet I don't know how it sits with me knowing that I'm trying to be, you know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to find a way where I can cover it up, cover.
I know what you mean.
Mask it so it's not so.
Well, that sounds bad.
Because right now it's
mask it.
Right now it's not so bad, but I'm sure certain here in about a year or two, it may.
Yeah, it might look bad.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Looks like another train's coming.
Yeah. It's coming from this way. Coming in hot.
I wonder what's in there. Man, that was loud. That was loud.
Probably some toupees.